How's it, everybody? Welcome back into the people bringing in. I'm Mikota Nui, and thank you guys for waiting for me to come back live. It is so good to actually see you guys here today. Did you guys ate well? Did you guys rest well? Did you guys have a good day at work? If not, then I hope today's stream will make your day a bit more brighter and better than before. Or you can just sit back and relax, because today is going to be an art stream. It's going to be a bit of a chill stream, if you will. But how is everyone today? I'm doing alright. I just actually managed to eat well. I actually got to sleep a little bit proper. Did a little bit of cleaning about, and I hope that I also have to make sure that everything is up and running, because you know, sometimes stuff actually happens and it's not very fun for everyone involved. But how is everyone? Mr. Palanite, Jackson Dragon, welcome back! Wait a minute. Wait. No? Okay, hold on a second. Why is my... no? Okay, hold on a second, chat. Okay, there is something wrong with you. Okay, that is weird. I should be able to emote. No! Just fine. Ow! Fine! Ow! Hey! Something wrong with the PNG Tuber program? I think so. Well, I think there's something wrong with my PNG Tuber avatar, if you will. That is weird. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like this. That happens to me several times, so I did that real fast. Hold on a second. Let me actually try to make this thing properly work for me. Chat, hold on a second. Let me try to restart my PNG Tuber and see if that actually does something. No. Hold on, guys. Let me just fix this up real fast. I don't know what's wrong with my PNG Tuber avatar this time around. It was showing me the scuff last time, and... Okay. Alright, we're cooking. It's now finally working. Input the hotkeys again. No worries. I just had to restart this and turn on the numlock. Everything is now fine. Okay. So, okay. There we go. Okay. I was beginning to worry for a minute there that we will actually be having some level of scuff, but okay. Oh, I almost forgot to be inside of the... Okay, there we go. Where is my... Yes, there we go. Okay, so now that we... Runia?
Hello.
Runia! Hi! Hold on a second, let me get you out of that. I'm gonna get you out of that jar.
Yeah, teleportation mishap. It's never accurate.
It's okay. Okay, there we go.
Though, to be fair, it can be incorrect up to a mile, so that was actually pretty lucky I managed to land in the jar like that.
I'm not sure, but, well, at least it's better than the jar and elsewhere. But
So,
anyway.
you're doing art today?
Yes, I am. I'm going to be doing a second order for TheArashi, where I actually did a piece that features 3 of his characters. This time around, I'm doing 2 of his characters, and I think I may have went a little bit overboard with this. Because this is meant to be a full details order, and well...
Yeah. I'll be honest, you've got quite a backlog, don't you?
I mean, I'm basically knocking down every single previous order because my commissions are now officially open. I'm trying to clean up what's left of my orders. I After this one, I basically have one left, and that's it.
Oh, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That last one being mine, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, 100%. And so yeah, for those who actually are interested in commissioning me, the board is now open. You can just go into the notice board or the card, which Nightbot kind of showcased twice, and yeah, you could just open it up there, and you can actually check out my rates. And if you're interested in commissioning me, just send me a DM in either Twitter, or if you actually can find me in Discord, there too.
Also, hello, Ice Drake. Thank you for greeting me.
Alright, so that for how am I doing? I'm doing alright. I'm just happy that I'm on time this time around, and now it's time for me to actually get to work on this second commission order. So let's go bring out his cast of characters again, more specifically the last two to the right, and let's see. I think I may have to. Looking at this, looking at this, I think I may have to. There. Okay, there's. I'm looking through every single references that he actually gave me, for the sake of getting this commission right, just about right.
Hmm.
Okay. Because he does feature Arashi is also another artist, and he also showcased his character in different power-ups and bunch. The prompt is that it's like either showcasing these two characters in that of a duel, or a sparring duel, or that they're actually just demonstrating their own powers. I'm taking the duel option, and I think if anything,
Okay.
it looks pretty good.
Yeah, that looks actually very nice.
Mm. I decided to go
Yeah,
for something a little bit different. Oh, sorry, you're saying?
I was just gonna say, yeah, sparring probably looks really nice in general, as
Mm.
opposed to an exhibition match.
Let's see. I like the
Oh
comp
yeah.
too. Oh, Arashi, you're here. Well, what do you think of this one so far?
Hello,
I
Arashi.
decided to actually go for something different and use 3D models to actually help me out when it comes to making this prompt proper, because, well, I'm not really confident in trying to pull this off on the fly, so I decided to go for something a little bit different. Okay, so now that we actually got the base sketch to that, so we're gonna go right ahead and wait a minute. Wait. Oh, hold on. I got that thing wrong. Okay. Okay. Alright. Now we're just going. Given that this one is still another work in progress, we're basically gonna do the same thing that we did for his order last week. We're gonna finish up the last of the sketching, and we're gonna go straight to doing the inks. But how are you doing so far, Runia?
Doing pretty good. Been taking the week off to prep for next week, since
Oh,
it's going to be my birthday week.
all right. I almost forgot.
My birthday is on Saturday specifically,
Mm.
but I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming every day up to that day, and
Oh.
on that day too, because I don't exactly have. Well, wait, no. I'm going to be busy that day. Now that I think about it, because there's going to definitely. I still have things to do. Well, yeah, because that should be our week of D&D, right?
It should. It really
Hmm.
it should, but I think we could just ask Barrowwall to actually give us another day off so you can actually celebrate your birthday proper.
I mean, I could just go on until midnight on Friday and then just be like, "Hey, happy birthday to me."
You sure? because this
I
is.
mean, yeah, I get it. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, I really enjoy role playing. All right, like that's why I made my channel the way it is.
This is true. This is also
Hmm.
true.
I love to have stories to tell. Now, that said, if the game ends up getting canceled for the week, then yeah, I'll just hop on and just be like, surprise stream. I'm not above that.
Well, I guess it's a wait and see. Well, it's not a bad compromise, you know?
Certainly not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Also, you were invited because I'm going to be doing having the VC open to those that I trust. You can
Aw,
drop in and out at any time.
aw, thank you, thank you. I truly do appreciate that.
And again, it's going to be the entire week, so you can just, whenever you have the time, that's perfectly fine.
Fair enough. Thank you. I am gonna try my best to try. I'm gonna try my best to make it.
Okay, do what you can.
Mm.
And don't forget, don't ignore your own stuff.
I know, but how often do I actually get to, spend time with my best friend?
This is true. Gosh, we haven't spent time since that time with, what was it? Changeling the Dreaming. That was it.
I mean, given that Cult of the Lamb's co-op update is going to be coming very soon this month,
Hmm.
you considered actually giving that one a try?
Oh, absolutely.
Yay!
Dibs on the goat.
Dave!
Hello.
Hello, Dave.
Hi!
Hello, Rainier. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How are you both doing?
We're doing alright. Given I'm trying to do this one commission order for Arashi, and okay, that looks like it's a hood right there. So, this one is a full details order, but I can understand why some people would mistaken this as to that of a extra details and something extra details and background order because of how dynamic this actually is. But I did try. But on the other hand, this is made in a place where I try to experiment on posing because the prompt is two of these characters are basically doing that of akin to a duel, so that is also showcasing their elemental prowess in their combat. And right now I'm just doing this sketch when it comes to this, and I think it's coming together. Okay.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far.
Thank you. Using 3D models is still something I'm trying my best to actually get used to because it really is an important asset to use when you're when it comes to Clip Studio Paint, and it really and then it does actually save my bacon in a few picture orders I did in a previous picture order I did in the past. Just have to hope the remote play works for Cult of the Lamb co-op update. I hope so too. I really do, because I would be incredibly bummed out that when it comes to the co-op update, it's local play instead of, the other kind of co-op that's supposed to be, because we live in a time period where a good chunk of our friends are located literally lands far away from each other. So the connection like this really does help us a lot when it comes to, it really does help bridge that gap, if you will. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the 3D models aspect of it. As again, the Gary's mod animation time that I spent a lot of time hyperfixating on trying to make the animations as realistic as possible.
Hmm.
So I can see the benefits of using that to use 3D models and angle the anatomy appropriately to assist in your 2D art.
This is true, but I was referring to the co-op the co-op aspect, Dave.
Ah, right.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay. It's all right. You don't have to apologize.
No, the fuck you
No.
don't.
Thank you for showing them the door.
I'm so glad I have SiriBot for that.
I don't think I actually do. I definitely need a bouncer bot for my streams. Just in case when there are days that Dave can't make it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the best way to fight automation is with automation.
I mean, I got the Nightbot fairy that is on me, and after I took it a couple of whacks, it's finally cooperative.
But yeah, I would definitely suggest looking into that bot as well.
Hmm. Okay, I think when it comes to the elemental blade, it's gonna be. I'm on the fence on actually drawing out the blade in a line art and fill that up, or just freestyling it and or like just basically paint it in because it's basically that of a water blade, if you will.
Hmm.
Like, you mean it's unlikely to have a sharp line edge in the final piece?
I mean, the way that Arashi depicted this, it does have that of that one sharp edge, if you will.
I'm guessing my question would be whether that sharp edge would be watercolored or like a solid line.
Hmm. I think I'll put a pin on it for now and
Yeah.
try my best to do clothes physics for this.
That makes sense. Ah, yes. Closed physics are also the bane of my existence.
I think it's a bane to most budding artists and intermediate artists' existence because clothes are funny. They help protect us, our skin, give us a certain amount of warmth depending on the situation. But when we try drawing them out, it's how is it that it keeps it just kind of makes us want to bang our head to the wall or the desk in order to get for the upteenth time and try to get them right. But I'm just gonna have to wing it. I'm just gonna have to Mac freaking wing it. Okay. But let's see. But I hope you're actually enjoying this, Arashi. I hope I actually did your characters justice when it comes to this commission. But if there is something a little bit wrong, please tell me right away, okay? You have like about 3 free edits, and once they're all used up, I'm gonna carry on afterwards. But you know what's one thing I can't wait to possibly do next week? My Patreon is not only am I going to be doing the Patreon rewards next week, but I'm also going to be drawing out one of the girls that's featured for this month's swimsuit month, if you will.
Ah.
And boy, the choices there. I think given the limited amount of patrons I have there right now, I think I should not have started this thing off with a large roster. That in hindsight, you know, because it seems to me that I already got somebody actually winning there, but well, I think if anything, there's going to be a bit of a tiebreaker. Let's see. And for those who are actually kind of curious, I have a Patreon that serves as not just my tip jar, but also to actually help me earn money to pay for the internet, because it's my one contribution to actually help in the house aside from doing housework that helps pay the bill, and it's enough to actually help me pay for the internet bill, you know?
Makes sense.
Alright, so let me look at those. Let's see. Her armband is in the left arm, so... Okay, that's one less thing to worry about. Okay. Now let's go work onto the arm greaves. I don't know how far we're gonna actually go for this commission. So, we may only end up working at least on the line art when it comes to this commission, because even though this is meant to be a full details commission, it's still this is very detailed for a full details commission. Borderline of that of the extra details, but I'm at least fortunate enough there's no backgrounds for me to actually worry about. So yeah. Oh no.
Oof.
Bless you. Only one bless. This bonuses don't stay.
I'm okay.
I hope so.
I forgot to take my anti-allergen again. And I keep doing this to myself. Okay. Okay. I'm okay. I just forgot to take my anti-allergen. Like, the goober that I am at this point. There's no denying it. I'm basically that of a certified goober. It's a certified goober moment. There should definitely be clips compiled of all my certified goober moments that I did for this stream. Okay, so let's go work on this. But don't worry, I think I will be okay. But if I keep sneezing again, I'm just gonna say the proverbial fuck it and just go into the kitchen real fast, grab an anti-allergen, and basically and come back. Okay? That is I'm gonna hold on to my own word to that. I'm fine. I hope. Okay. Okay, so. Okay. I don't know how far this is. I think I may have an idea for you. I think. I'm gonna draw the kneecap over there so I could actually have something to draw and fill in. But how, let's see. But you know, I have been thinking about, hosting some sort of, a poll somewhere down the line. And it's gonna be me, and it's gonna be asking for my community on what game I should actually pick out for this year's Halloween for me to play with.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. As well as figuring out in advance what costume I should actually be wearing for this year's Halloween. Cause
Ooh.
in 2022, I decide I had the vote has been made. I'm gonna be dressed as that of a Yuki Onna. In last year's vote, it's basically that of a goth Nui, you know. So yeah, I'm actually kind of curious in what my community wishes for me to actually dress up for this year's Halloween. But thoughts, questions, death threats?
Mickey.
Hmm? Which Miki?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is one idea out there. I think.
Bonus surprise, you're wearing my outfit.
Outfit swap for Halloween. Let's go.
I don't know. I mean, there's some. I mean, given that you and I have different sizes, some areas of that outfit is going to come off loosely on me.
Listen, they can be resized. It's
I mean-
simple enough.
I mean, you know, that is fair. That is also very fair. But can you imagine?
Fun fact, there is a clothing spell in Pathfinder for making adjustments like that. Yeah, Splatty is like, Mickey wears Renia's outfit and Renia wears Mickey's outfit. I think you said that too,
listen.
Dave?
That is pretty much why I
Yeah.
implied yes.
Yeah, outfit swap for Halloween.
That is going to be a stupidly funny thing to do. And yes,
Also-
well, I'm not surprised.
Ooh, but
Hmm?
but Wild does say, I'm surprised no Kitsune Miki is the option. Or Kitsune. I don't know why. Is it Kitsune or Kitsune? I keep
I think it's
messing it
pronounced
up.
Kitsune.
Okay.
I have heard it pronounced Kitsune as well.
Okay, alright. Because I have heard some bad readings on that name before and it's gotten stuck in my head. I'm like,
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've had somewhat similar experiences with improper Latin pronunciation, but it's a completely different context.
Oh.
I'm a history nerd, and I play a few games set in the ancient Roman era.
Ah, right, I forgot.
And the ancient Greek era as well. So apparently, the correct pronunciation of hoplite is hoplite.
Wait. Huh?
hmm.
Ancient Greek for you.
You know what? Fair enough. But speaking of Greek and Roman, Greek and Roman, I've yet to encounter a character in D&D that actually embodies that. You know?
So you've never encountered anything like Gorgon or
No. I meant like having their player characters depicted as that aesthetic.
ah
The closest
yeah.
The closest to that is Luke because he has that gladiator aesthetic. But
That's true. He very much embodies. I'm trying to remember the exact. There's this name for that style of gladiator.
okay. Traded within some games that I'm not playing anymore. Bought a Wii game, Metroid Other M. I don't understand why people hate this game. I'm actually kind of curious what is up with Metroid Other M.
Let me think. Other end.
Yeah. So I believe Lou's style is it's a mix between two gladiatorial loadout styles. One's called Hoplomachus, and the other is called Retiarius.
Wait, really?
Mm-hmm. Hoplomachus is basically wearing a helmet, not all that different to Lou's dread helm, a short spear, and a buckler. Whereas Retiarius has a net and longer spear. Also, neither of
Okay.
them wear armor.
Okay, I remember Other M now.
Huh?
Yeah, I think I remember hearing this largely being like a lot of this comes out of left field for Samus and also not very flattering to the character that has been built up to this point, being badass space bounty hunter. And then it's like, well, not really.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, also Adam.
Alright, I'm gonna turn off this and.
Now, I can't speak for Wii controls though, because I've known that playing a few Wii games myself, sometimes those controls can be a little finicky, and especially when you're trying to play a shooter, that's can be a death sentence.
Okay, I did the sketch for this, but I think this looks pretty good.
Like, to be fair, I don't think Metroid Other M is horrendous. Like, I've seen worse. As a Parasite Eve fan and having seen Third Birthday, I have seen worse.
I've always keep hearing about this Parasite Eve in the up in the air for every now and then whenever it shows whenever it's mentioned. But what is that game about anyway?
Okay. So, possibly, what do you call it? Squaresoft. No. Squaresoft. Before it became Square Enix, Squaresoft's first horror game that is an RPG. It has an unusual feel to it because there's a lot of free roaming in between turns, so to speak. Like, there is a contained battle arena, to say the least, but it does allow you to run around and avoid enemy attacks while performing attacks of your own with a sort of radius for your weapon and your powers and so forth. Now, with that said, it is also heavy into body horror. This is post Final Fantasy VII as well, and those graphics have only gotten better by then.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like, probably at like a year or two later. Having said that, the main character, Aya Brea, is such a badass. How badass is she? She starts the game going to an opera with a blind date. And when shit starts to get real, you see that she has in her possession a handgun, tonfa, and body armor.
What?
Yes, she starts off with that. And this has been an ongoing thing that she does feel comfortable having a weapon at her side whenever she can in the second game. And although I hate Third Birthday, I still find it absolutely hilarious that she actually came strapped to her own wedding too when someone assaulted it. And then she just whips it out and starts attacking them after taking a hit.
What?
This is how badass the character is.
Okay.
And this
now I'm
also
curious.
is based off of a novel, which then became a movie. And again, just body horror, and it just kind of continues the story, I think, of the movie, if nothing else. If not the novel. And it goes into a weird direction because the incident in question takes place in Japan, but the game takes place in New York as a continuation.
Wait, why New York of all places?
Because American company, I guess, or maybe not American, just something that I don't know why the decision, because a lot of weird things happen with Parasite Eve with decision wise.
You know, that's fair.
Because this, again, a game about body horror.
I mean, as someone who also has a bit of a soft spot for body horror, I mean, it does tickle my interest and curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to actually give this game a try, but I think I'm
Would
gonna.
require an emulator.
I think if I have to do that, I have to do that in an emulator. Should I?
Mhm. Yeah, it is going to have to be done with an emulator.
Hmm. I mean,
But it's a great game.
what console did it came out?
PlayStation.
Oh, then that could explain why I never really heard much of. That could explain why I never really knew about its existence.
Well,
'Cause-
I did start this preamble with you're familiar with Final Fantasy VII, right? Final Fantasy VII was PlayStation, and this was released on the same console like a year or two later. But it kind of was meant to be, is from what I understood, sort of like SquareSoft's answer to Capcom's Resident Evil series. But instead of being the survival horror that game was, you had a RPG about uh, women caught like the people of New York, a policewoman on top of that, getting caught up in the biological conspiracy, I guess you could say, like millennia, if not millennia in the making. It's weird. I love it. Yeah, Parasite Eve and Koldelka are great. Koldelka being the precursor before Shadow Hearts, and I loved Shadow Hearts, and I really want to do Koldelka.
I want to actually give Parasite Eve a try. Maybe I should find time to give Parasite Eve a try.
Mhm.
That
I
is
know.
if I know.
I've heard that it's popular for some streamers or some people to play it on. I want to say Christmas Day the days leading up to Christmas, because to fit the time frame of the game itself, because it takes place within a week.
What?
It is a hell of a game. And they like to finish the game on Christmas Eve / day itself.
Bit of a tall order for me to try, but
Some days are shorter than others, and I will say that there is some puzzle solving done occasionally, but it's also a game, I should also mention, that is very heavy in the science. Like, a lot of the terms they throw around are real, and a lot of the theories talked about are in fact still things to this day that are kind of poked at. But the levels at which this thing takes them, highly improbable. Because here's the thing, here's the inciting thing inside of the human body that causes all of this. You might be familiar with this at any level of biology classes. And you will hear this word frequently throughout the game. Mitochondria. And it's largely based off the idea that the mitochondria technically is a foreign body within the human cell.
but it's
It contains its own DNA separate from it. But the problem is that, yeah, when you actually stop to think about it, mitochondria can't do shit. It largely is meant to not supplement, but
it's the
yeah, no,
powerhouse
supplement.
of the cell.
It is designed to aid the nucleus of the cell. The idea here is that apparently the nucleus kind of decides to form, not the nucleus, but the mitochondria in this specific set of instances decide to flip the script. Instead of being subservient to the nucleus of the cell, they decide we're taking over now. and we're putting out all this output, you will see a lot of people spontaneously combust, which is not something that should happen, period.
Oh, my medical knowledge and my medical knowledge is not letting this thing go.
Right. But the science behind most of it is, there. It's, they talk about actual real science in biological terms. So there was thought put into this. It just is that the heights at which it takes it is ridiculous. Because, again, people either spontaneously combust or mutate into mitochondrial creatures, which can be all manner of things.
Do I need to take a drinking game for every time mitochondria is mentioned in Parasite
You will
Eve?
die. You will die. There is no two ways about it. It is a constant talk throughout the entire game.
Well, you
Especially. Sorry, go ahead.
know. I mean, no, I can wait. I can wait. Just go.
I was just going to say, especially since the main villain is like, listen to your mitochondria. You know the truth. It's all manner of stuff. Now, is it a perfect game? No. There are a few things that definitely can be a pain in the ass. There are some people that complain that the main character is too broken, especially if you get her higher end powers, which allow her to basically go super, like, that it's simply called liberate, which is like, hey, your mitochondria nonsense, just let it go, transform into this bio jellyfish angel thing, and go ham on destroying the enemy. And that pretty much wrecks most encounters, save for like the boss. But even then, that is a huge head up on the boss. Problem is that you kind of get stunned afterwards, so like don't abuse it because the boss can definitely mollywop you after that.
Gee. Oh.
And and it's one of those things of like, well, yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of probably the point, because you are a regular human that suddenly has gained superhuman abilities. It's a whole thing.
Well, I am a very curious person, and that's going to live with me for my whole life. So I am actually curious enough to actually give this game a try. See how. I just want to see how batshit crazy the game goes.
Oh yeah, you'll enjoy it. Also, having said that, Parasite Eve 2, also a phenomenal game. Different formula. It takes more inspiration from Resident Evil, especially in control scheme and camera angles. You will have to wrestle with tank controls in the second game.
Wait, tank controls?
Yes. Basically, you have to, like, whenever you try to turn left and right, it will spin the character in place, and you do not move in the direction that your character is facing. You have to press forward, and it'll move that character in the direction it's facing.
Oh,
Regardless
no.
of, yeah, it is a like it is a thing and a half. Like, basically, you have to take a moment to stop, turn your character around, and then move it forward.
That, I think, oh boy, if I started off with that first,
Yeah. Thankfully, that is not how it is in Resident Evil 1. Not Resident Evil 1, Parasite Eve 1. It operates a lot more on, like, typical movement that we're used to today.
I mean, I just
Like
don't
the
know what
direction-
were the, sorry. I just don't know what were the developers thinking when they use when they try to use that for the second game. Now that you actually put it that
I
way.
mean, it mostly is because they wanted to play up more of the survival horror angle. Because now you don't have the real time, not the kind of the real time combat that the first game had. Sorry, real time turn mixed, kind of like Final Fantasy, which is what the first game was like.
Oh.
Just with the added addition of, hey, between your actions, you can move around to avoid enemy hits and so on and so forth, or get into better positions. This time around, it's all the action is happening all at once right in front of you, and so you basically have to have a mastering of space, of the controls, and manage your equipment well. So tank controls helped with the tension, and so it was a great move for what they were trying to do for that game.
You know what? When you put
Yeah.
it that way, fair enough, I suppose. But I can only imagine some level of frustration players must have
Oh.
gone through when they have to learn how to do that.
You have no idea. As someone who had never played a Resident Evil game, and then being like, oh wow, I loved Parasite Eve, and now there's Parasite Eve 2, let me play this game, and I was just absolutely demolished because I can't handle tank controls, because my brain is constantly being like, go this way, why are you just turning, move, walk.
Oh dear. Well, let's see. Aside from Parasite Eve, that I actually wanted to give a try and playing, if there's one of the classic games that came out in our previous decade that I never got to play, but I actually wanted to give it a try when I'm able, Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Wait, that came out around what, 2010?
Has it been 2010?
I mean, that's the decade. Remember, today's 2024.
I mean, a lot of the well-known YouTubers back in the day, they started off with Amnesia: The Dark Descent. I never actually.
Wow, yeah, 2010 was when it was released.
Oh my lord!
14 years ago.
But I know for sure that Shad's really wanted to do a small collab with me when it comes to Amnesia, and oh honey, thank you. So let me go ahead and do that.
Right. Hydrate. And that's good on my neck.
My back kind of needed that. I know it sounds like a creature you fight coming
Oh
out
my
of
goodness.
the hallway at 3 in the morning, but
Oh my goodness, Arashi. It's like, Arashi says, I played Dark Descent and got so amusingly scared I was muttering Viet.
Subnautica.
I don't know. Subnautica is kind of peaceful. It's like,
It certainly has some horror elements to it in certain respects when you're exploring the unknown.
It's
I suppose, but most of the time I felt nothing but wonder? Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
The reason why Steve put it into that depiction is that I have cards on the table. I have an in real life fear of deep water.
That makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah, mainly because I kind of almost drowned when I was a kid.
Mm.
But yeah. But yeah, it would either be that or thalassophobia.
I've never actually played Thasalophobia, but I know that, but I know for sure that there's a lot of people who actually made vids about it, and it ranges from and it ranges from pure horror to pure funny.
Yes, to be fair, Age Gaming did pretty much the same thing for Subnautica. Because apparently, I think his name is Josh. Yeah, apparently he also has a fear of deep water.
Oh, guess I'm not the only
I
one.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really felt any particular fear towards deep water. Like, I certainly had respect for it, do not get me wrong. I've been on boats, I've been on planes, I've been on trains. I've experienced many modes of transportation and many environments for it.
I have been trying to helping her by teaching her snorkeling. It certainly helped, but I want to encourage her to keep combating that fear. Aw, sweetie.
Yeah, the main problem is typically with deep water, you're deeper than a snorkel will typically let you go, and at that point, then all the other things that actually trigger that fear start coming into play.
Mm.
Hmm.
I won't go into specifics because I don't want to accidentally trigger something.
This is fair.
But yeah, I don't know. I find it hard to find a game that I'm actually horrified with. Like, there are plenty of games that will have me feeling tension, and I will get, jumped every so often, but I'm not exactly afraid of many things,
I
if
think.
at all. Like, I don't
Hmm.
know. I mean, you've seen me with Corpse Party.
Oh, I have, and oh dear gravity! Hold on a second. There you go.
Hello?
Hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay. It's just that you were over Runia, so
Oh.
I had to pull her to the side.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Did not mean to sit on you. Eek. Anyways.
I'm sorry.
Oh! That would have been a good collab game to do again, Runia. Tackle Corpse
Uh-huh.
Party again.
You know what? This is true.
Yes, we tried doing that in the past, and we lost track of time and actually finding out, and then we kind of lost track of doing it all together. But anyways, yes, I wouldn't mind doing that again with you.
Whew.
We're basically
So, what were we talking about?
We're basically talking about horror games because of the making early plans for this year's Halloween month, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunately something that I cannot indulge in as I have pre-existing conditions.
That is perfectly fair. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, we did talk about costumes that I'm thinking of releasing out there into the. I'm thinking about asking my community or my Patreon to ask what should I wear for this year's Halloween.
Ah, it's getting closer to that time, isn't it?
It
I've actually been
is.
thinking more about I was actually thinking more about my anniversary with my wife.
That is fair.
Aw, that is fair, and that is also very sweet. I guess my
Yeah,
combative.
3 years on 3 years on October 16th.
Let's see. I guess my combative side makes me face things head on. I mean, you, as someone who witnessed it firsthand, you're not wrong, honey. I still remember that when we had to go through the haunted houses in Universal. That yeah. You tried to go up right into the scarer's face. Yep. Don't they? I mean, I don't get me. I mean, I was scared out of my giblets, but at least you were there, and yeah. But let's see. Have you tried White Day? I haven't. But is it a pretty good game? I know that when it comes to certain worlds, especially in Japan, there is an event. There is a thing called White Day, which is like a month taking place after Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day it functions a little bit differently than how the Valentine's Day is depicted here. The basic gist is that when it comes to Valentine's Day, it's the day where girls give the chocolates to the boy or significant other that they like, and it takes about and they have to wait for White Day which is March 14 for them to actually reciprocate them back, because the boys have to deliver white chocolate instead of milk chocolate at that time.
Ah.
Hence the word White Day.
Well, I mean, I'm glad I'm not the one who has to eat the white chocolate, because, yeah, I do not like that stuff.
It's a good thing. Well, it's a good thing it's a good thing to let that out right now than in front of Shad's presence.
I will gladly eat all of it.
I actually as a bisexual woman, I like my chocolates. I like all my chocolates. If you ask me to pick, should I either milk chocolate or white chocolate, I pick both. But I also swing towards the dark chocolate side.
Although I do have a question. What does being bisexual have to do with chocolate?
Well,
It's a Valentine's thing, I imagine.
yes.
We shall leave it at that.
I'm sorry. I'm confused.
I think it might be Rosebud. I'm not actually sure.
Well, because I think, okay, maybe I'm putting some level of confusion, which is my bad. But to put it in perspective, again, I said that White Day is like the day when guys reciprocate back with white chocolate, and girls, in the month before that, gives milk chocolate.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see. So you're partial to receiving either as gifts.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Okay, well that makes more sense. I thought there was some underlying meaning that I wasn't getting.
I am
My
so sorry
apologies.
for the level of confusion. Honey, you're a lovely piece of caramel. The cat. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Meanwhile, here's my dairy allergic backside trying to figure that out.
It's a fairly decent horror game. I think I'll put that on my list. But thank you.
I didn't know you were allergic to dairy.
I do have an allergy, yes. Oddly enough, it seems to be neutralized when frozen, or at least partially neutralized when frozen.
To note, folks,
Interesting.
having an allergy to dairy is different than being lactose intolerant.
Yes, in my case, it's casein that I'm allergic to, not lactose.
Which is a protein that is located in dairy.
Exactly. And
Which means that you can't. Which means that the things you can and can't have are different than those who have lactose intolerance.
that's correct. So
I know this because I also have a friend who is allergic to milk.
If I recall
dairy.
correctly, lactose intolerance comes about because of an intolerance, or of a deficiency of lactase, right? Around the stomach line?
Here's the thing. Humans naturally are lactose intolerant. What most cases of people being able to drink are is the fact that they have been around and consumed enough milk and lactose to actually be resilient and make some use out of it.
Plus, it makes good cheese.
That and a combination of what's the word I'm looking for?
I still think lactase has something to do with it. It has to do with helping break down the lactose.
That is correct.
Yes.
But in the case of this is the wrong term for it, but unnatural selection through essentially bias towards eating that food regardless has caused some human beings to generate a tolerance to it.
Cultures that definitely are more exposed to milk tend to have more tolerance for it.
Yeah,
This-
in my
I mean,
case... Sorry, go ahead, Jay.
Sorry, I had a lot of dairy products growing up, so naturally I would.
Yeah, but it's also a kind of genetic thing too. So, like your entire, I guess, most of your family line being exposed as well helps.
Mhm. Yes, correct.
In my case, it's sort of a strange case because in my case, I'm not sure exactly what it is that's missing from my digestive system, but for casein and gluten, my body lacks the necessary digestive properties to properly break down the product, which can result in the incomplete product traveling in the bloodstream to the brain and causing mental issues.
I see.
Which
especially
is
during...
concerning, you know?
I mean, it was very concerning. Just ask my parents how they felt when they found out. Either way, I've made it work for 33 years, so...
Mm-hmm.
And these days it's a lot easier to have a gluten and dairy-free diet because the options are actually available.
This is true.
Right? That's one upside that I consider in our current society.
Yeah.
The options are available,
I mean,
Yeah.
can you
especially now that we're more aware of them.
Can you imagine if we're born much earlier than where we're supposed to, where the options aren't really a thing?
Then we die
Oh.
much sooner.
Oh.
Well, I would probably wouldn't die, but I would probably be low-functioning autistic.
That's fair.
This is true.
I did grow up with some people who unfortunately did not have the option to get that in time, and as a result they did turn into lower functioning individuals because of the effects of eating the wrong kinds of food.
It's not me wondering.
Hmm.
Let's see. Okay. I've only been in this thing for an hour and 12 minutes, and we've done plenty so far, but this is just the rough inks. Very soon we're gonna define this touch up when it comes to the. We're gonna define this as soon as we got all the rough inks done. It's just that this is taking a little bit longer than I thought. There's a very good chance that once we're done with all this, we're most likely going to be ending at just the line art, because this is not only two parties involved, but this is also two parties with complex posing, complex detailing. But you know what? I am a woman of my word. I am going to get this thing done, and I'm going to get this thing done and done. Besides, I want to make room for my... Besides, I am making room for my commissions, and I am still open for commissions. I had like 4 orders so far, but I'm still open for about... maybe up to 2 or 3 slots left. So for those who are actually interested in commissioning me, feel free to actually do it, but while the time slot is available. And if you're not, then at least spread the word around that I'm actually open up for commissions.
Yeah, word of mouth it has a lot of an effect, and I think people don't give it enough credit. So if you can, do Mickey the favor of spreading the word.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Miki, you said you don't like Subnautica because of deep water the deep water diving. No, not really. It's just that I have a in real life fear of deep water because I almost drowned as a kid. So if I start going anywhere deeper than 5 foot, which is basically my height, I mean, I'm roughly 5'1". Then I suddenly start panicking. Steve, I really am grateful that he's trying his hardest to actually help combat that fear of mine. In fact, oh man, I wish we actually keep this thing up. He actually helped when the pool was open. We actually tried our best to make time to the pool so we could actually try my best to actually learn how to swim, if you will. I wonder if I should find time to go to the pool somewhere in the weekend.
I mean, considering all the heat waves we've been having, it wouldn't hurt to.
It's just that once the summer is over, the pool is going to be closed for the entirety of the year.
Wait, down in Texas?
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, I can understand not wanting to use the pool in the colder months, but closing it down, that seems a bit odd.
Well, this is the community pool, you know, for the neighborhood that Steve and I are a part of.
Yeah, I guess.
So some things have to, but Steve did say that there is, when it comes to the first day of the year, it does open up again for the polar bear swim. Basically, you go and take a dive there to celebrate the new year, but the caveat is that, it is cold. Stupid cold. You gotta be like a seasoned swimmer in order for you to take on to that very cold weather, very cold waters of that pool.
And make sure that your body doesn't go into shock as a result.
Yep.
Because that is a good way to drown.
No. And as much as I want to be there with Steve, I had a feeling I can't really go, cause another round of cards on the table. I'm a terrible swimmer.
No shame in that.
I mean, ever since I almost drowned as a kid, I cannot really swim proper, and because I could not focus for shit when I was a kid, I could not stay focused on the lessons that the swim teachers try to drill into our heads whenever my mom takes me and my siblings to YMCA. Because
You know what? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Because child me always say, there's a pool there, yay, it's time to swim, but hey, it's supposed to, you know, kid me, your ma took us there for a reason, Nana took us there for a reason. It's supposed to be where we learn how to swim, not playing it. Ugh.
Well, now suddenly I look back at our time together and I'm like, man, I feel like such a jerk now.
Huh?
Because we spent time at the beach, remember?
Oh, right! Back in Waikiki.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes you say that?
Because we were out in the water for a time too. I was totally unaware of this.
To be fair, it's also on me too, because I should have told you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, and it's another one of my muck-ups when it comes to, yeah. Emerald
Don't worry
Marine,
about it.
hi, welcome back. I like diving underwater while the teacher was giving instructions. You know? Let's see, so you actually have a floaty to swim on. I mean, when Steve came to Hawaii back then, he actually went as far to actually get me a little life vest on me. So it feels a little bit embarrassing, but it did save my bacon every now and then.
For me, I definitely spent a lot of time learning how to swim. I can definitely tread water, and my family had a pool in our backyard. So we spent a lot of time having fun with that. Like, especially just going around in circles around the edge of the pool to both pick up speed and to create kind of like this silly whirlpool effect.
Yeah, my father's place also has a pool that hasn't seen much use after we grew up. Dumbest thing I think I ever did was a science experiment in the middle of winter, testing buoyancy by swimming around with and without a brick attached to myself.
I'm sorry.
A singular brick.
Yes, besides, if all I had to do was let go of the brick if I was in any trouble, and there's a shallow end of the pool where you can literally stand in it, so. Yes, it was a stupid idea. I also got a cold as a result of that.
No, Dave.
High school Dave was not very smart, in case you haven't figured out.
Now, I want to say the absolute silliest thing about me is that I love to swim. I also am very, very hesitant to get into any body of water initially. Not because of any fear or anything, it's just usually that initial dip is cold. I don't like that.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't like that.
I eventually just got into the habit when it comes to my pool of just saying, you know what, screw it, and jumping in, because once you've taken that leap, there's no,
Yeah,
there's
after
no
the
time to
initial
hesitate.
After that initial plunge, and then you get your entire body wet, then you actually are just like, okay, I got this. Like maybe you'll shiver for a little bit, and then
Yeah, the shock will subside. That by jumping in, you basically eliminate any ability to hesitate once you're in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of that I kind of did the bed flop when I was going into the pool. Just around last month, back in June, if you will. And mind you, this takes place in the day where I was severely bummed out when it comes to other things. I wanted to go into the pool that day, and I just wanted to cool my head because I was so overloaded. But the pool in our neighborhood was closed, and I was bummed. And Steve actually called me, and he said that he'll just drive me to the other pool that's in the other side of the neighborhood, and which is great. We were able to go in, but me, I think I was just very dumb at that moment. I just walk into the pool like that. I'm about to flop into the bed, and I actually did that, and oh, it hurts.
Yeah, landing with your mass extended to the water is usually a bad idea because the viscosity is still going to make it hurt.
Yeah.
Also, to answer your question, Emerald Marine, no, a regular run-of-the-mill construction for a brick house brick.
No! Dave!
What? It was just a brick in a plastic bag. It's not like it was anything bad.
Dave! You know what? Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah. To be fair, it's pretty much the only kind of brick that you're regularly going to find in South Africa because all the houses here are actually generally built of brick rather than plaster.
Oh yeah, it's built differently. Literally, it's built differently there.
Yeah, yes. In South Africa, we're built different. And that depends which South African you're asking because we're all built slightly differently. That's why we have 11 official languages.
What is going on in South Africa?
Many things. I could give you a lengthy history lesson, but I don't know if that would be on topic.
Fair enough, I suppose.
But to summarize, 2 of the languages are originally are from the Germanic tree, and the other 9 are from the Nguni tree, which originates in the southern African region. So 9 of the languages basically all share a fairly similar structure to one another, and the other 2 are both Germanic languages.
Okay. My sister banged her chin on the pool edge once. Ouch.
I seem to remember hitting my ankle, or not hitting, scratching my ankle in a similar manner when I fell into the pool once. Like, I don't remember it that well, which makes me doubt whether it's actually a valid memory or not. But I do seem to remember, like, losing my footing and my foot sliding against the side as I dropped in.
Oh no.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but oh well. Again, I don't remember particularly well, which makes me question whether that's a valid memory or not.
I would ask if your folks may also have a similar memory to that for clarification, but that's a catch-22 in that. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think when it comes to this, the only effect that we're actually going to see with this commission is the light bounce that is from their respective weapons. Because Arashi mentioned that this one here has an axe blunderbuss that actually emits fire. The other one has water blades. So I'm not sure how I'm going to pull off the effects, but I'm gonna at least give it a try. I think if anything, I may have to do the same similar vibe on how I actually the lighting. I think I may have to do a lighting breakdown similarly to how I did when it comes to Azra's commission. Let's see. Let's see. I busted my toe while Oh! I felt that!
Yeah, thankfully I've never done that while driving, but I did have a very bad habit. When I was in my last couple of years of high school, because I had to stay back a year, so I got into my driver's license a year before anyone else in the school grade. And typically, when I was driving, we had a stick shift that was a hand-me-down from my mom. And the problem is after soccer, because me and my brother would go to soccer, after soccer, while driving up the side of the mountain pass that we had to use to get back home, almost like bloody clockwork, my clutch leg would start cramping.
Oh no!
And that's important because on a stick shift, you need to work the clutch to keep the gears changing, especially if you're going uphill.
Oh no! That sounded painful though!
It's uncomfortable. The problem is it's not that painful on its own, especially compared to the risk of something going wrong in a car. But yeah, that was something that carried on for a while. I haven't had the last time I had a muscle cramp was about a month ago, but before that it was been like years since it had ever happened.
Dang it, my train of thought decides to actually have a fart. Okay.
Yeah, it's not fun having your muscles basically try and snap your leg closed as tight as possible.
No, it's not.
It's not at all.
Sounds so painful.
It's not like
So,
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, it's not severely painful. The problem is that in order to get the pain to go away, you need to force your own muscle to pull through the cramp and then forcibly keep your legs straight and your toes bent upwards until eventually the pressure relents.
See you around, Emerald.
Alright, Emerald, take care. Okay.
But, yeah. So, here's something fun to talk about that's a little off a tangent from all this.
Okay.
New anime coming out.
Hmm.
Now, downside, isekai. Upside, the person who's being isekai'd is a red Power Ranger.
What?
Well, to be more specific, he's a tokusatsu hero that is part of the Super Sentai team, and he's the the Red Ranger, basically.
So we're getting an Isa Sentai.
More or less. Now, fun fact, everything he does basically flies in the face of all sense of common sense, especially in the fantasy world. I've read the story before as a manga, and my favorite bit is with the Adventure Guild card, where it's like, okay, I'll finally understand what his stats are because the card will always give me the stats. And they showcase a regular card which has all the stuff like strength, dexterity, all that lovely jazz. His card, however, gives Toku's. I forgot how to say the word now. Tokusatsu, yes, thank you, stats, which includes jump height, horsepower, all this other weird stuff, and they're just like, what does any of that mean? Which Red Ranger? Just the Red Ranger of his team. It's specifically for this story. It's not any established current Sentai team. Kind
of reminds me of this one team member we got for the Planescape game called who he calls his character Hercules, and he actually has an aesthetic when it comes to related to the Hercules beetle, Hercules beetles or beetles in general, if you will. And yes, and when it comes to last night's game, he really did went through a tokusatsu transformation change.
I also just had a really stupid thought just now.
Oh?
Fun fact is, go ahead.
An episode or like an arc in a Mage Ascension game where the team gets isekai to another world.
Oh no.
Go ahead.
Basically, consensus gets completely turned on its head, and all the chaos ensues from there.
So yeah, another thing of bizarreness with this character is the fact that his entire skill set is empowered by the bonds of friendship. Quite literally, the more friends he makes and that join him in whatever shenanigans he does, the more powerful his moves are. And again, everyone else is like, that doesn't make sense.
Oh no.
That's all I will say about this. You can go read it, or you can watch the anime when it comes out.
I think I'm gonna give it a try and see if I can watch it. If not, maybe I'll go find the manga if there is one available in the public.
I've been reading the scans myself.
Okay. Let me try. I'm almost done cleaning up the rough inks and...
I think it's called Red Ranger in Another World or something like that. I forgot.
Okay.
I'm gonna double check that.
Well, it is a start, so I'm definitely going to...
Oh yeah, that is exactly what it is, word for word. Red Ranger in Another World.
But yeah, I think from my side when it comes to isekai, like while I enjoy the genre generally because it sets the characters into a fantasy world, I am interested in seeing more anime that are just set in fantasy worlds. Certainly, I think Dungeon Meshi started scratching that itch for me.
And I mean, it also scratches that lovely itch for me too to see, and we can actually apply D&D logic when it comes to, or Pathfinder too, how this basically kind of works. And I actually do love the cooking and how it was actually done in Delicious in a Dungeon.
That reminds me, the other one that I watched was Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf on Netflix, actually.
Oh?
Yes, Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf is an anime movie, not based around Geralt, but his predecessor, actually.
Wait, really? There's
Mm-hmm.
someone before. Oh yeah, Witchers are basically monster hunters, and they will actually need a lot of people to recruit for the. Yeah, okay, I can see why now.
Yeah, so to quick recap on how witches are made.
Mhm.
The way witches were traditionally, quote unquote, recruited was that what they call the invoking the law of surprise, which in the world of Witcher basically means they can request. They basically tell the person, as payment for hunting this monster, you will give me the first thing you see when you get home. Which I believe is actually in reference to a biblical story. I'm not sure. Or it might be a Greek story. I don't remember which. But yeah, so the premise is that if the family has a boy in their family, and that boy is the first thing that the contract bearer sees when they get home, then they have to surrender the son to the Witcher. They then take the son to their Witcher hold, where they undergo brutal training to prepare them for the Witcher transformation. If they survive the training, unmutated, then they get to go through the mutations, which are agonizing. And then they get to come out the other side as a Witcher. And even then, you can have situations like Geralt, where he died by being stabbed through the stomach with a pitchfork by some peasant.
What? He dies?
Wait, he actually dies that simply?
He is resurrected by... I'm not exactly sure how he was resurrected, but I know that at one point in the story, during a riot, which he is caught in the middle of, he is stabbed through the gut by a peasant with a pitchfork.
I see. Also, good evening.
Oh, hi, Afton.
How y'all doing?
Hello.
I'm alright, just tackling this commission. And I think I may have bit more than I could chew, but then again, it fits well into the prompt that I assigned to do.
So, to circle back to why this was relevant in the first place, in Nightmare of the Wolf, the story follows a young Vesemir, who is Geralt's teacher, and basically like the senior witcher of the brand of the wolf. Or of the wolf witches, because the different groups of witches have different symbology on their medallions, and Vesemir's and Geralt's are those of the wolf.
Like, there's... what are the other schools again? Like, I know there's the School of the Snake, there's also the School of the Crow, if I believe so.
It's the Viper specifically. There's a Griffin school, there's a Bear school, there's a Cat school.
The moment that I just heard that there literally is a school that features a cat, I can only imagine what would the medallion look like when it comes to that knowledge now in my head.
Don't get your mind out of it.
No, I mean, it's either
She's talking-
it looks intimidating or it looks cute.
I actually,
Hot choice, actually.
I'll put it in the TV chat for you.
Yeah. Also, hey, Runia.
Hello.
Hold on a second, I just need to.
How was your...
Hmm?
had fun yesterday?
Oh, I had plenty of fun yesterday at Maple's birthday stream.
Yeah, like you guys were playing Goose Goose, if I believe so?
Played Goose Goose. We also did a bunch of Jackbox party games. I've won 2 of them, surprisingly.
Do you know what makes it even funny? The fact that the PNG that you're using looks exactly like the mood that you are doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I've been hot swapping my reactives from Fujitech.
Mm-hmm. Like,
So
I
yeah,
was.
that was the other thing. Uh, Miki, I've been making good use of the PNG even after I've stopped using Video Tube.
Oh,
Like, I have wait, no, 7 slots to work with, so I've basically set them up so that I can, just have it, up and running, and then just click on what I want to do at any given time.
aw, thank you. And Chaotic Pac-Man, hi! Welcome to the Paper Plane In, and thanks for the follow.
Oh yeah, weren't you guys also like, because we were playing Playtop, chat can actually join in as
Mhm.
customers. Like that was absolutely fun. You guys gave us the worst orders, or
Listen,
correction, gave
sometimes,
Rocky the worst orders.
there was a delay on the stream, and what I ordered was not ordered properly because the time ran out before it received my order.
Like
I had to basically order at the same time I said visit.
you guys weren't even being punished. I was being punished for all of that.
Yeah, like, I didn't want the apple salad. I wanted the second choice, not one. But no. It didn't catch my order, and so it just was like, okay, we'll just pick random for you.
Ow.
Well, yeah, like
We did finish off late in the night with some Gauntlet, Slayer Edition. And we got to the final boss, and we're getting our ass whooped.
Sorry there, fellas, but I'm going into a tunnel.
Oh no.
oh hell yes. But still,
yeah,
that was some of the
as
best
far
one I
as the different Witcher schools go, at least in Witcher 3, the main distinction is how the armor is depicted. Like, the School of the Bear has the heaviest armor overall, whereas the other schools generally have better dodge and abilities.
Hello there, the gremlin.
Hey, Gremlin.
Hello, Gremlin.
Hello! Housekeeping is actually it's nice to see you again. There you go.
I see that you're still wearing your floaties when you were in the pool earlier.
Yes,
What did-
yes. Housekeeping was actually what they're playing where.
What did you have in your hands just now?
Ah,
I heard you put something down.
Nothing.
Gremlin.
Ah.
Gremlin, what were you carrying?
Housekeeping was trying to put back, bag?
What's in the bag? In fact, no. How about we do a trade, Gremlin? You give us what you have in your hand, and in return, I will give you a sweet reward. If you give it to me now, I'll give it.
Housekeeping doesn't know what you have in sack, though. But then again, housekeeping doesn't want your sack. It's a sad sack.
Well,
Where
who
did you
knows
get
what's
this
in it?
bag,
It may be a
Gremlin?
box of chocolates. It may be some fudge. It may even be, some thermite termites. Who knows?
Housekeeping is good.
Wow. Not even the bribery of chocolate works. This is new.
That's because housekeeping is earlier.
But what bag did you have, Gremlin?
Hold on. Wait. My crabs!
Oh God. Did you go collecting crabs?
My crabs! They're running!
Be free, my crustacean friend. Be free.
No!
Avoid the pot.
Crab!
avoid the pot that the gremlin will slowly put you in.
Now all I can think is that money, money, money.
Don't give them that idea. We are not raising Eugene crabs.
But Huskerman likes to eat crab.
No,
Yes, the screaming comes later when Gremlin catches them.
Mm.
screaming's already happening from what I'm hearing.
Yes, 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 yes. What? Where did you get where did you get crab, Huskerman? Huskerman, that didn't what they playing world. Which is why Huskerman is actually full. Yes, 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 yes. One of the source of proteins I eat? What is protein?
Don't worry about it,
Protein
Gremlin.
is essentially what you get from meat.
Huh? Huh. Alrighty. Can Huskerman wants to go hunt more for wants to go more, Huskerman wants more crab.
No, you're not finding. You're not purchasing any more crab
Yeah! Why not?
because no.
Ah!
Gremlin can go hunt crab as long as she doesn't leave them running all over the inn.
Ah. I thought it would be funny though to put them in people's rooms.
Wait, what?
I don't think that's a good idea, Gremlin.
Not a good choice.
The crabs need. I'm pretty sure the crabs need a source of water to survive.
That's okay. I put them in bathtubs in their rooms.
Still, what is the plan with them?
Ah! Wait, there's a Dodo bird back? Hey, Dodo bird is back! Huskerman wants to eat them again.
What do you mean again?
Oh no, it's time for me to go.
Gremlin. Gremlin, have you eaten Dodo before?
Do not give her that idea.
I put the crabs in the bathtubs.
Why?
I hope she has not filled mine with cider again. That poor crab is going to drown in alcohol.
Wait, we're doing that?
No, she did that to my bathtub.
Hey guys, what did I miss?
Gremlin has left crabs in the bathtubs.
Which one?
Yes.
We don't know. She didn't
no.
specify that.
Oh no! Oh, that could be. Okay, there's a few. There's like several private rooms in the inn, a few and a handful of suites. It could be literally any of those. Oh no!
Oh. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, it's okay. What
Yeah.
you were saying?
Oh, I just wanted to talk tabletop stuff.
Oh,
Ooh, what tabletop?
Oh. Pathfinder, of course, but
Ah,
that aside, I'd also like to talk about D&D, though.
ooh.
Mhm.
Namely, the wizard. And thoughts on a potential change that occurred with Paizo in Pathfinder.
Do tell.
So, you are familiar, for the most part, wizard being, their subclasses largely being, necromancy, illusion, evocation, and so on and so forth, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're pretty bland in D&D because it's just like, oh, you
Yeah.
have certain advantages when performing things of this type of magic.
Yeah, basically, what was your major?
I I've actually been
Uh,
looking into things with the wizard, although I've been looking at like custom subclasses for that.
yeah. And to be fair, I also do like the off-wall ones where it's like, hey, blade singing or war magic.
Yeah, among the vanilla ones, the most interesting seems to be chronology, purely from the fact that you have the ability to change dice rolls.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
Wait, are
chronology?
you thinking that one or you're thinking of divination
I'm
with the
thinking.
portent ability?
I'm thinking of chronology. I'm pretty sure chronology has some sort of ability to
Because
affect rolls.
yeah, like
No,
because what is
that's
it?
divination.
Divinity. Yeah, divination has the portent ability, which allows you to start the day loaded with like a roll or two, and then throughout the day you're like, oh, my ally missed. Here's a nat 20 roll that I had earlier. You take that instead. Oh, the enemy crit. Well, here's this 5 that I rolled earlier. You have them take that instead.
I am very familiar. Mickey's character Rose has used it to great effect in the campaign so far.
Yeah, and it's sometimes pretty funny too.
Are they also a halfling?
No, she's an
No?
asymorph.
Okay.
I mean,
Fair enough, fair enough.
I don't think you've ever actually played and I'm just gonna list these down.
let me.
Halfling, Gnome, Kenda, Deep Gnome, Durgar, Dwarf.
Look, I am much
Goblin.
more attuned to the
Okay,
much
alright,
more. Look, it's just that I tried to put in some thought to draw characters like that,
So-
and
Mhm. Yeah.
it's just not really my thing, or I have yet to create a character that really fits that description.
So
I
I
mean-
did double check it. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go on, Brunya.
Yeah, I was going to say, I did double check it. Chronology magic does have a feature that allows you to, as a reaction, take one creature's roll within 30 feet and make them re-roll it.
Yeah, so it's not quite the same. And then the other one,
Quite the same. With portent in the School of Divination, after you finish a long rest, roll 2d20s and record the numbers rolled. You can replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by you or a creature you can see with one of the foretelling rolls. You must choose to do so before the roll. Replace this roll in can replace a roll in this way only once per turn. Each roll can only be used once. Once you finish a long rest, you lose any unused foretelling rolls. So, chronergy magic with the chronal shift has a bit more flexibility because you can make the decision after you see whether the roll succeeds or fails. Whereas divination, it's a case of, they need to make that saving throw, they fail.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's basically like silvery barbs.
Mhm.
The class.
I think the next closest thing that I can see here is the level 14 ability, which you have to get to level 14 for, which is the Convergent Future, which basically, let's see here. When you or a creature you can see within 60 feet makes an attack roll, ability checks, or saving throw, you can use your reaction to ignore the die roll and decide whether the number rolled is the minimum needed to succeed or one less than that. So in other words, you can decide the fate of a roll straight up. The catch is every time you use it, you gain a level of exhaustion.
I think the inn has actually found where the crabs are at, and they basically locked the door so they won't go anywhere. So at least that's one less thing to worry about. Thank you,
Wait,
Jack.
why do I hear music coming from the sub part of the inn?
Don't worry about it. Let's just leave them be.
Anyway, you were saying
No.
about Pathfinder.
Yes. Now, Pathfinder in general, for various reasons, most of it probably being OGL nonsense, decided to move away from this kind of subtyping for wizards.
Huh?
Instead, you have schools in the other sense, as in where did you go? And each school has a particular style of teaching, which gives you a certain collection of spells to choose from that are bonus spells that you have. For instance, we have the schools of Ars Grammatica, runes and words, numbers and letters. They all underpin magic, making them the logical subject for a wizard who studies fundamental forces. Perhaps you study at the Pathfinder Society of School of Spells or similar institution, but whether you're lacing your words with magic to compel others, casting wards around the workshop, or destabilizing the very structure of an opponent's spells, you know this unassuming school carries elegant power. And then there's the School of Civic Wizardry, where it's all about stuff that constructs or demolishes. A school of mentalism, a school of the protean form, which is about various types of transformations and shapeshifting. And it also includes things like Vampiric Feast, where it's like, hey, I'm just going to take this life force and put it to mine.
I'm surprised they actually don't have that as a wizard class. Yeah, like or is that just vampiric touch? If I think about it.
That probably would be Vampiric Touch.
Yeah, because if you think about it, I'm pretty sure there's wizard classes where you can actually take damage, and it augments all of your abilities. Oh wait, no, that is the Blood Wizard from Tal'Dorei Reborn. Essentially, they do that via instead of paying actual gold, they can use their blood instead.
Now, personally, I do like the idea of this type of spell school myself, because then it's like you can write up basically your own school and spells for that school and say, this is where I was taught.
And it gives you priority on these existing spells, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is a good way to do it, I agree.
And, depending on what school you went to, they probably would have taught you some unique powers, which is where the focus spells come in, with things like the first one I threw out have Protective Words, which, let's see, you expand a ring of glyphs that shields your allies. You and any allies in the area gain a +1 status bonus to AC. Each time you sustain the spell, the radius increases by 5 feet to a maximum of 30 feet.
Let's see how.
So, also, you may think +1 isn't a huge deal, but you also have to remember that Pathfinder works on the 10+ rule for criticals. So every +1 you have is an additional +1 to avoid getting crit.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
very important.
I'm not sure if it was you who said that or somebody else, but I think the general gist of Pathfinder is that you don't avoid getting hit, you avoid getting crit.
No. To be fair, there's also a greater chance for you avoid being hit as well. But against bosses, yeah, you want to lower their attack and raise your AC to take the least amount of crit.
I must admit, I have been very keen to try and find an opportunity to step into Pathfinder for the first time. At least 2nd edition. I think first might be a little.
First edition, yeah, no. That's being dumped in the. No, I will not use that metaphor in this call after everything we learned.
I mean, 1st edition Pathfinder is what basically introduced me to everything else when it comes to tabletop RPGs, and yeah.
To be fair, 5th edition wasn't around yet.
Yeah, because everyone was either still at 3.5 or starting into Pathfinder.
No, there was also 4th edition, but it wasn't doing too well at the time.
What's wrong with
came
4th
to
edition?
It was too early for its time.
Yeah.
Like, if we stop and think about it. It has a lot of similar hallmarks that Pathfinder did. Now, I will say a big weakness of 4th edition is that it gave no incentive for roleplay.
very it was all like
Yeah.
combat.
It was yeah.
oriented.
They had 4th edition sat down and said, okay, what is the thing we actually need to fix? And that is combat. And there's a very simple reason for that. Whenever people asked any questions of the Paizo staff, it was always combat related questions because of the focus that Pathfinder had on combat. They didn't need any answers on roleplay because, well, that's just the thing that they always, hashed out because of rule of cool or things like that. But when it came to actual stuff for, numbers and stats and so on and so forth, that was the most frequently asked question. So the assumption was, oh, people only really care about combat. They can figure out roleplay on their own. And so, yeah, it didn't work out that well because there is a very small thing here, which is that it created a dissonance between rules and, I guess you could say, role-playing visuals. Because sometimes, you have something like, I don't know, like an ability that, on paper, yeah, that makes sense. And, I can see why it's named that and how it's supposed to work. But sometimes it feels a little weird. There's one rogue ability where I forgot exactly what it's called, but colloquially it is known by the community as Der Clang. Because what it does is, it effectively, if an opponent misses you, or actually, wait, I think it's something like, you rush by an opponent, they get a chance to hit you. If they miss, then they hurt themselves. And it's one thing if, hey, they're all grouped up in a bunch and, they're swinging wildly and hitting each other. But when you can do it from creatures that are that so far away from each other or just a single opponent, then it looks like they forget all reason and just hit themselves. Just by walking past them.
Yeah, so it makes it incredibly difficult.
Yeah, while the abilities were great and there was a lot of balancing done, the visuals for a lot of these abilities didn't gel with a lot of people. That they always have to ask questions, wait, how does that even work? How does that look? So on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now, top it off, this was before virtual tabletops were a thing as well. Now, they were trying to build something for it, to say the least. But that kind of was, as of this edition as well, it was probably going to be in-house. Which, hey, that doesn't exactly go well.
Uh-oh.
Top it up. So the big thing here is that most people played this at the table. And they had to keep track of so many different stat and status effects. So much so, I remember personally having bought a box filled with all manner of tokens and trackers that we can slap onto a mini around its base. So we could remember, okay, it has this, that, and the other currently on it.
Oh, like those little rings that you put on tokens. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Like tokens, little blood things, so on and so forth. There were a lot of stuff that could happen to a creature, including universal stats like bloodied. Now, I will say this, I do love a couple of things out of 4th edition. I love the idea of bloodied, which basically is, hey, you're at half health. Now, this, that, and the other can be triggered off of it, or, this happens because you have reached this state. I also like the idea of minions, which are like, hey, here's some enemies that are going to give you some trouble. Good news, they only have 1 hit point. So you can basically stormtrooper your way through.
Yeah, I've never actually seen the Stormtrooper one before, like the minions option. That feels quite a little new.
Okay. I did my best to thicken some of the lines to emphasize the field of view.
Closeness?
The field of view, but what do you think? Does it look good?
I do think
I
so.
actually
Yes.
think it looks great. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 1 down. Okay, 1 down out of 2. Okay.
Now, I want to say to top things off, multi-classing also was very, very difficult.
Steve says sometimes the flavor of subclass is the thing that kills it. Either by making it too restrictive or too sour. I guess that's the catch-22, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
why in Tasha's they did that whole option where you can actually change, where you can change it, where you can like change from one subclass to another. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
useful, but like, how does that effectively, like, for story reason, it could also work. Like, I would see it more popular in Warlocks, but others, not so much.
Okay.
So yeah, one last thing that also made 4th edition kind of iffy. It is a thing that constantly happens with D&D, and it largely comes down to the fact that I'd say every even-numbered edition has kind of a curse,
Huh?
and it's the curse of monetization.
Uh-oh.
Money.
Yes.
This happens every time, every even-numbered edition. The 2nd edition fell into this, 4th edition fell into this, and upcoming, 5.5 or 6th edition, D&D 1.
This is,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 1 D&D
this is not going
is
to
also
end
falling
well,
into
would it?
falling
It's
into
not,
this too.
currently, it's
It's-
not ending
yeah.
well at the moment. The community's.
Yeah.
How's the
Well, to be fair, this is mostly rallying against Hasbro and the stuff they're forcing Wizards of the Coast to do, and some of the upper management of Wizards of the Coast currently doing stupid things. D&D as a whole is going to survive this because we have so many lovable additions and stuff to play with from previous permutations of this game. People will always pick their favorite and keep playing it, regardless of whatever the company brings up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that they can feasibly go to each and every person's house who owns D&D and say, hey, you're getting rid of these and you're going to have these strictly.
Yeah.
No.
Like, this
They
is something they found out in 2nd edition, where they were like, people aren't playing D&D. Why? And then they look into it and it's like, oh, no, people are playing plenty of D&D. They're just not playing 2nd edition. They refuse to play 2nd edition.
Yeah, it's kind of why I'm a little so nervous about, like, especially with OGL. I was so worried, like, they would try and, well, annoy some of the, hinder some of the amazing projects that I've seen the third-party community do.
Yeah. The
Because
big
that
thing
was
with...
the biggest reason why a lot of people rebelled against them.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing about the OGL incident, was the fact that they were trying to get money out of people that have made products off of their open source resources for years,
Yeah,
almost
aka
decades.
Yeah, aka the Games Workshop.
Now, having said that, with 4th edition, they attempted this in a slightly different direction, namely to say, hey, OGL, yeah, no, that still exists, that's still out there, you can do whatever you want. 4th edition has the gaming license now, which means you can't make third-party content for this thing, not without first getting the license. You have to pay us for it. That kind of stuff.
And boy, did it backfire.
Mm-hmm.
It backfired
Yeah, it was
like
a great...
beat-up car when it's on its last legs.
Yeah,
And
more or
it's
less.
loud.
More or less, they were like, we're going to restrict the creation of third-party products for this edition of D&D. So if you want us to, if you want to make stuff out for this system, you're going to have to pony up some money to get it, to make it happen. And people are like, well, no.
Said no.
No.
Yeah. This is also the edition where they dropped both the Dungeon and the Dragon magazines, which surprise, surprise, were made by a certain publishing company. Can you guess who that was?
Who?
Boom.
Paizo.
Wait, so
Oh,
Paizo started off as a magazine
no!
company?
Paizo had published the Dungeon and Dragons, those two magazines for, Wizards of the Coast at the time. And they had a lot of fun stuff. They even made a, what do you call it? What's it called? A setting book for Pathfinder for 3.5 edition. And then all this kerfuffle with, 4th edition happened, and them being dropped from making any magazine any zine publishing for Wizards of the Coast. And they were like, well, okay, we'll make our own game
They just
with
said.
blackjack and hookers.
They literally did.
Yeah.
In a sense, they really did say that.
Yeah, that's it. Now, there might be a few details I am misremembering here. So take most of this with a grain of salt, and do your due diligence in research.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mostly trying to remember this off the top of my head, but yeah, that's more or less how things went down. Now, to be fair, early Paizo and Pathfinder publishing stuff definitely were not the greatest in the world. We've seen a number of times things of particular art nature, plenty of boob windows, a lot of problematic writing, and it was mostly because they just were grabbing everyone that just was, liked 3rd edition D&D.
Let's
And
see.
they made it use out of a lot of Drow content as well, because Drow sold books. They really did.
Let's see. Steve said that, and then there's the CR's Daggerheart.
Yes. Critical Role. I feel like I'm not entirely sure if they are moving out of 5th edition. I feel like they are, because they are a little frustrated that Wizards of the Coast have essentially tried to scuff them up as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's essentially what they tried to do.
Yeah. Now, if only Daggerheart was better,
What is Daggerheart?
It is their in-house roleplay system, and from what I can tell, it's kind of a almost PBTA, maybe Blades in the Darkish type style system. I would have to double check. Don't quote me on any of that.
Fair enough. Okay, hold on a second. My nose is decided to be itchy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just like before, we're going to do something similar to this again. I'm just fortunate this time around. The details is a little bit less compared to, well. Okay. On one hand, I am fortunate enough that this is a commission that's just a full details commission. But on the other hand, I think I'm gonna have to do some level of lighting difference. So I have to practice doing the lighting on this, because we're seeing two elements clash into this sparring duel.
But like when it comes to tabletop stuff, actually, really, I would actually like your opinion on this, because I don't think I've actually ever asked you this before. What is your thoughts on third-party tabletop stuff for expansions for it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I will admit that I wasn't always keen on it, but this was mostly during the time that I was a part of D&D 5th edition. Now, granted, my first actual tabletop game was entirely a homebrew thing. And no, it wasn't D&D, it was in fact D6 Fantasy. And we were playing a special form of it that well, a friend in my first tabletop group ran, which was Tim's D6 Fantasy Adventure, or PD6FA as it was shortened. And I happened to find out this was largely because the person who created the D6 the fantasy system was actually friends of his family, so so he knew the creator directly. But regardless, the big thing is that I had always been iffy about like balance from third party people and not knowing how to check, credible sources or people that see how well people were with the system, that kind of thing. And I was like, I don't want to have to sit hours on end trying to play test this thing to make sure it's safe for my table or some such. And I was like, I'll admit that Pathfinder 2nd Edition has helped me a lot in actually doing I guess you could say, work and accepting more third-party stuff, mostly because the system itself is very solid enough that most people basically are like, the outline is here, I just need to fill it in.
Yeah, it's kind of like
the math is very solid. Like, I'm still wary about 5th edition D&D's homebrew though. Even
it's okay,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if you are a little wary about it, don't worry. I actually, because I mean, like, knowing people with such things, like, it's kind of like they have like a lot of people look into it. That's the thing. And figure out whether like
reviews are important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say that even stuff for like, I don't know, like that came out of Matt Mercer's stuff. Like, I am kind of have a bit of a eye at.
A little bit wary.
I'm just like, I mean, it looks nice. I don't think it plays nice though. I actually tried Blood Hunter in a game, and I was like, yeah, no. Half the time, I was unconscious on the ground. Like,
Hey,
and
listen.
partially because of trying to play as a martial character and trying to use the blood, hemo magic nonsense. Yeah, like, and it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah,
This is a problem because you are using the thing that keeps you alive as a resource.
Yeah, that's kind of the catch-22, especially given that the...
And you're meant to be a martial character.
Yeah, which is not good. Like, kind of like an in theory, in practice type thing.
Yeah. Meanwhile... Oh. Ravenslever dropped a highlighted message.
Oh, thank
Aloha Aloha to my favorite innkeeper. I hope your August is going well for you and your Prince Charming.
I'm alright. It's just that I'm trying my best to draw this commission. We're doing the rough ink on this for now, and then we're gonna redefine this, touch things up, and then maybe, just maybe, we'll do some light coloring. I am not sure. Oh, we'll burn that bridge when we get there.
I can certainly... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Now, by comparison, moving into Pathfinder, the 2nd edition here, and a very good friend of mine, Soken Ashra, she made the Hemotherges, which is a blood magic character. Now, first and foremost, already starts off by saying this is largely a mage. They've got some combat ability, but they're not meant to be a frontline. But secondly, their use of their presentation of blood magic is using something they call the Icor system. And what it is that you use an ability that has the Icor tag. So you will take this much HP from yourself and then set it aside. If your turn comes around again and you haven't taken any damage whatsoever, you get that stuff back.
So basically, you can regenerate any health that you have
you
lost.
spent. Yes.
I guess that could have been something that, when you put it into that perspective, maybe that's something that's lacking when it comes to the Blood Hunter class, because
On top of that, okay, go ahead.
because for a class that is meant to like hunting monsters, and you actually at hunting monsters, and you basically had to use your blood to help you out with your curses. There has to be some level of a clause in order for making that class functionable. Like, the blood has to be regenerated, so to a degree, so that way your blood hunter class doesn't become frustrated to play. I've always wanted to make a blood hunter class, but I'm a very, very hesitant about it.
I will say, Blood Hunter, even that it's not a constitution-based class, is very frustrating to play in many aspects. If we had a stronger health pool like the Barbarian, it would probably be easier to deal with trading your own health for excess damage. But playing as Thrak, for example, my ability to call on my powers, for example, is very limited. I think I've done it literally only once during that one fight.
With the
And the
Heron
other time-
guns?
Yes, with the Haran guns. And aside from that, it's typically not worth actually doing, because you are potentially risking health that you might need at precious moments, especially when the party's in a poor state, because it's almost worse than being a wizard without spell slots going into a fight, because your spell slots are your health.
Now, I want to say, oh, go ahead.
There should really be a way to make the Blood Hunter class functionable in a long-term D&D campaign.
Yeah.
Go on.
Things like the tough feat could actually be very useful. Like anything that helps boost Constitution, I'd say it's something that would be valuable to have on hand.
Certainly. Now, I will say, with the Hemothergist class that my friend made, my favorite subclass for that character class has to be the Flagellant.
So what?
Flagellant, somebody who strikes themselves.
Right. The thing here, though, is that what this subclass does is it makes it easier for them to cause bleeding on enemies and to get bonuses for having bleeding enemies on the field.
Whew. Really?
Yeah. They said that they were kind of inspired from Darkest Dungeon and the Flagellant there.
Darkest Dungeon, yeah. I actually need to play that at some point.
I will say this right now, who actually got to play it in her Switch. It is a game that would really test you.
Test me in what way?
Ooh, where do we begin? On how well you're trying to keep your characters alive and sane.
Well, to be more accurate, it's a game about resource management and understanding that humans are also a resource to manage. You cannot have feelings, you cannot have attachments to the characters that you're sending into these dungeons. They're going to have all manner of mental breakdowns. They're going to take on various things. A really good character could be messed up with just one run. And you have to be willing to take in the sense of loss. It's kind of like the exact opposite of Papers, Please.
Huh. I mean, do you know what's actually quite funny? I'm doing a resource management thing right now in the background.
Well, which is kind of hard for me to, which is kind of a challenge for me, because I am someone who is very empathetic, okay? And I get attached to, and I also get attached to some of my characters. And in fact, should I ever try to pick up in the game, I wonder if I should consider doing myself the toughest challenge of that said game. And that is to keep your very first two mercenaries, Renaud and Dismas, who are respectively the Crusader and the Highwayman, alive throughout the entirety of the game. Because there is one specific achievement that is specifically tailored towards them.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this, when I heard that when Darkest Dungeon 2 came out, I was actually bummed the fuck out when the Crusader didn't actually came back. A good chunk of the people of the Darkest Dungeon community also are upset about this as well. So when
I'm glad he's finally back.
He did, and the Highwayman actually has specific lines regarding to the guy when he came back.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, if that's not a sign that how well the story is pretty good, I don't know what is.
Yeah, so coming back to Bloodhunter from my side, I half have a mind to try and figure out a story beat to change Thrax's class in that respect, because while I appreciate having the Witcher aesthetic, unless I can find a way to up her health substantially, it's going to prove frustrating to use those abilities.
Like, I feel that first and foremost, Bloodhunter should have been HP 12, especially if you're going to be spending it, and at least there should have been a means to regain, like a constant back and forth of spending and, resupplying your health. Playing that as the gamble game.
It's funny you mentioned that, actually. So, speaking of homebrew, game I'm in, and using the homebrew anime 5e.
Yes, I heard good things about that.
Yes, I must say, almost a completely different system from standard 5e, but a hell of a lot of fun if you know what you're doing. I'm playing a martialist dwarf named Simple. Martialist is basically a custom class in the module that is all about the ability to fight. You are essentially a super fighter, is the best way to put it. Simple has gained a couple of weapons that, using in-game lore, have an ability to not quite leech health, but when you do damage, you can collect half of the damage dealt into a pool, which you can then use at will up to the max amount of that pool as an action to heal. Also, another fun thing about Anime 5e is that you gain more actions depending on certain features of your class, which you can gain from leveling up as well. So right now I'm basically playing on a 3-action system, which is a lot of fun. Although I will say it's not 3-action in the same way as Pathfinder. You don't get the multiple attack disadvantage.
Leonard, welcome back! It's been a while. It's been 6 million years. How have you been?
But yeah, so I basically have an ability in Anime 5e which would really, really be useful for a blood hunter.
Hold on a second. I need to blow my nose, otherwise I might end up sneezing again.
Because let's face it, if you're doing blood magic, reconstituting some of your enemies' blood as your own, or potentially as a healing spell, which would make you even more dynamic as a class, would be a really nice thing to add.
Are you sick? No, I am not sick. I just forgot to take my anti-allergens again.
You keep doing this. Gonna have to keep reminding you, aren't we?
Oh, I gotta have to do this redeem again. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Okay, it's too early.
Do it.
New?
Oh,
You,
so you can do the other one without issue. And yes, I am here. Hello, Lunar.
Okay, I'm good, but now everything is kind of broken. Okay, hold on a second. Where's my rune? Ah, there. Okay, it's gonna take up to 5 minutes until everything is back in order. Yeah.
So, yeah, the thing for me is Thrak being very much styled on a Witcher. Bloodhunter is the only class in 5e that really has anything close to that, with both class and subclass. In that, witches are essentially this dark magic imbued force meant for hunting monsters, and they have the whole potion subclass that goes perfectly with that theme.
I think that's basically what blood hunters are supposed to be, huh?
Not necessarily. That one subclass specifically taps into that, but it doesn't have to entirely be that. Yeah, even the subclass of the potions is frustrating because a lot of the time with the potions, you gain one bonus to something in exchange for a a downgrade to something else until you purge your system. Now that's all well and good, but given that my ability to use the potions is already limited, surely I should just be gaining a buff from that. Because half the time, say for example, I gain resistance to bludgeoning damage and a vulnerability to piercing damage. Half the time I'm not going to use that because half the guys have clubs and the other half have spears.
Which can be a little bit, what's the right word for this job? Can be a little bit annoying to deal with?
Well, the problem is I've now made myself vulnerable to one of those if I make myself resistant to the other. So I'm effectively evening out myself back to the same point with the extra potential for vulnerability if I get bad luck.
Yikes.
which is not useful if you are specifically like doing
No.
like
I
insert.
also, let me see here. What sort of class is a? I'm trying to figure out what their primary skills is here.
Let's see. Speaking of D&D, my brother is running another campaign I'm a part of. It's Strixhaven, and I'm a shifter biomancer, and he is traumatized and has killed before coming to college. Yay!
Wait, did I hear Biomancer?
Ooh.
I
You're looking
didn't know
for a
such a
teacher?
thing can be a thing.
That's
Yeah.
because theoretically, Biomancy isn't an official like class or something of the sort in 5th edition. Though it is in one published third-party content.
Oh.
And I think you have this book as well too, so if you want to look into it, I recommend it. It's pretty fun. The School of Biomancy Wizard.
I think I'll give it a look as soon as I'm able. Is this in Heliana's?
Heliana's Guide, yes.
Okay.
Although, I'm actually gonna just to clarify, are you actually using that, or are you just flavoring it as kind of like biomancy wizardry? Because now I'm curious.
Okay, let's see.
So if I look up the mutagen formulas for the subclass Order of the Mutant, there should be one here for resisting certain attacks. And all of the better ones require higher levels. So let's see here.
You going over Blood Hunters?
Yes,
Okay.
we've been talking about the major flaws in the Blood Hunter class. Mainly the fact that their HP is not as high as it should be for a class that expends it as a resource.
Which is kind of dumb because
But yeah,
especially if you're trying to start off as a level 3 or something, or worse, level 1.
so here's
I don't
some-
think level 1s get access to the key feature of the Blood Hunter, not to level 2.
well, I mean, level 3 is the really the point where you start using the other stuff. So, for example, the shielded potion, resistant to slashing damage, but then you become vulnerable to bludgeoning, which is similar to, and then there's unbreakable, which is resistant to bludgeoning and vulnerable to piercing. Now, why the hell would I use my potions in a fight with? Why would I use my unbreakable potion if I'm in a fight against a group of guys, some of whom have clubs and some of whom have spears?
They should
I
really.
mean, it's a fair concern.
I mean, I wish that they actually tweak a little bit more for the Blood Hunter, because I know that there's some people who really want to give that class a try, but what's holding the players back is the ramifications of it's a little bit hard to play.
It is. I think the main thing is just the problem at its core is imagine if you were a wizard, but or any magic class that uses spell slots, but instead of using spell slots, you use health points. Imagine that the level of the spell is the amount of points you would have to use every hit points you would have to take every time you cast a spell.
I think I would actually end up becoming frustrated.
Yeah, so admittedly, Blood Hunter has much less abilities, and often in order to gain the boost from using them, you only have to use them once, but you still end up being inherently cautious because of that.
And Matt Mercer is the one who designed this class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he actually made it for an actor when he was doing The Last Witcher.
Yes, this was the class handed to Vin Diesel, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Matt Mercer, great storyteller. Not so much a good game designer. Not saying that he's terrible, because I love the flavor of the character. And there are a couple of times that I'm like, oh, I did something actually really cool. But I had to wait till level, I want to say 6-10 before I was actually feeling I had any staying power as a character. And even then, it very much was hit and run. Don't stay anywhere nearby. I can't be a martial character. I have to play a rogue monk type deal. I have to use that play style.
There's actually a pretty interesting thing that I really want to take out from that Matt Mercer has done, and that is for resurrections and revivify.
So here's some other annoying things about this limitation is that you can only make a new mutagen or witcher potion, if you will, after finishing a short or long rest. And on top of that, it says, quote, they are also unstable by nature, losing their potency over time and becoming inert if not used before you finish your next short or long rest. So the question for me is at that point is, does my mutagen that I've consumed wear off, or do the bottles that I've concocted wear off at that point?
I could say that's the bottle.
But the problem is, if it's the bottle, then you can only have one mutagen at a time, and this mutagen both helps and hinders you. Because here's my argument. essentially, if it's that limited a resource, it should not hinder you. It should only be a helping action.
Then let's see. There's gotta be there. I think it really is fascinating that we're trying our best to figure out how to make the Blood Hunter actually functionable to catch up with the rest of the other D&D well-known classes.
I mean, yeah. What's actually quite interesting is that I'm surprised. Wait, does it use Constitution as a saving throw or no?
Saving throws. Let me look for you real quick. Its saving throws are Dex and Intelligence.
Okay, that's just weird. You'd think they would have Constitution saving throws.
Hey,
Yeah, I was about to say, I think this class should be centered more around its constitution than anything else.
Yeah,
alright.
especially with it being a martial, like it definitely should look into things like I feel like some characters, including myself, have done this involving the tough feat. Like because this doesn't have kind of like a built-in tough feat, it may like a lot of people may actually have to go in and get that for itself.
Actually, I've forgotten what level we've gotten up to so far in the campaign. Was it 6th level we reached?
Hold on. Let me bring up Nessa real fast. Because, oh, Nessa. I will go on in a long tangent about this one character of mine. But I think not today.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, why are you bringing up NASA again?
Okay, yeah, we are level 6.
Yeah, so we've just reached level 6. So, let's see. Yeah, that's right, because I just got the brand of castigation. Yeah, for me to get my next real advantage, I still need to reach level 7 for my subclass. At which point, I do finally get some advantages, which is immunity to poison damage and the poison condition.
That'll take forever to get there, innit?
Well, it's only going to be one
Yep.
level, so it's not exactly that long. It'll probably be a few sessions.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep. I mean,
Oh,
for Witcher that I made, I combined fighter with ranger, and as well as a level in druid.
hello, this is new.
I mean, that could work. Like
So
fighter
one
and
of
ranger actually
the
work well.
one of the other bonuses of the level 7 strange metabolism, you can trigger a burst of adrenaline that lets you temporarily resist the negative effects of a mutagen. As a bonus action, you can ignore the negative effects of one mutagen for 1 minute. Once you do so, you can't do so again until a long rest. Again, I feel like this is painfully unnecessary, having the negative traits to the mutagens in the first place, given that you're using your health, which is already limited, as your resource, making yourself vulnerable to additional negative effects, because there's a variety of different potions that are available. Like, for example, some affect your ability scores. While they increase one, they might decrease 2 others by a certain amount. The combat ones give you resistance to one type of damage and then make you vulnerable to another. It just feels like the class is unnecessarily kneecapped.
There we go.
Yeah. Like they give it powerful abilities, but give it incredibly hefty costs.
Well, that's the problem. Is I don't feel like, especially at the lower levels, the abilities are that powerful.
Alright,
So-
let's put this in a gray color block.
If I look at like the Crimson Rite, for example, I have to take necrotic damage from the hemo die at that point. And the hemo die, I think at some point ends up going up as well. So let's see. So if I use the Crimson Rite, I gain more damage with each attack based on the Crimson Rite, but I also have damaged myself in order to enact it. which means at the very least I've had to damage myself. And then after that, only after that can I start using other abilities which are dependent on the Crimson Rite for damage. Things like Blood Maledict or the Blood Curses.
No. Like, the Blood Hunter on its own is very strange, though. Like, with Matt Mercer not only creating that, he created 2 other, like, variations involving blood magic and the Hemocraft die.
I mean, one of them definitely is the Blood Cleric, which I use that for basically my puppet girl, Scarlet.
And then there's the Blood Wizard, which I've actually used. Which, surprisingly, it's actually pretty useful, especially if you're like very scarce on gold, and if you have a cleric with you, you are essentially like making a really good roll, because here's the thing: Death Ward and high level spell slots, which require lots of gold.
Okay, so let's see.
Like, so basically, you
Okay.
can do like high level spells with worth thousands of gold, and you are only at 1 hit point.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get going soon because about an hour from now I've got a Pokemon Nuzlocke to attend
Oh, fun.
with someone else.
Oh!
But
Yes.
to leave you with something absolutely hilarious,
Hello!
something for something
It's okay.
from Pathfinder. Oh, hello, but something from Pathfinder Second Edition third-party community.
Ooh.
This is a capstone to an archetype, namely the clown archetype.
What?
It's
Wow.
titled Joker Immunity. This is a level 20 feat, first and foremost. Remember this. And the description is thus: as allies drop to their knees, weeping over your death, you appear behind and sobbingly agree that it was exceptionally tragic. Who are you mourning again? You've reached some sort of pseudo-immortality, allowing you to seemingly and inexplicably return to life if it's funny enough. Once per year, when you die, you can return to life completely unharmed at full hit points but without any of your gear or items you possessed before you died. If you die again before a year has passed, you die permanently. When you return to life, you usually appear at a location where people are currently discussing or are aware of your demise.
God damn it, Joseph Joestar.
And here is the image that came with someone screenshotting this.
Please, I want to know this.
I will
so I
put
can-
it into the chat.
Does Phoebe know about this? I feel like she knows about this, but if not, I'm sending it to her.
Because you see this, the image here is great. This picture of a clown sitting in front of a computer with the caption, me working at the reception at the Adventurers Guild while the party report my death. It's like, yeah, it's like, that was really sad. Like, when did you get
Okay.
here? I beat you. It's like, now this is from the Archetypes Plus book. And again, ability like that, like,
Hey, listen. Yes, Emerald Marine. Would Gremlin get mad if I redeemed a Gremlin visit? I mean, balls at your court.
Yeah, I think right now she's trying to gather all her crabs for dinner.
in any case, I better get going now.
All right, take care. Thank you for coming.
Okay,
See
Renia.
you around.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that kind
Like,
of.
I gotta be honest, I had a bit of a chuckle in my head that when Marinian said she was about to go, Jace popped up, and I'm like, wait, you said you're bringing something funny? Like,
But
I'm joking, man. But how are you
oh
doing?
yeah.
Yes, honey.
I'm doing some work.
Eh.
Okay, this is awkward. Okay, first of all, okay, there's so much that needs to be done here.
Are you being quiet right now, Jay, or are you just a little far away from your mic?
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Loud and
there
clear.
we go. There we go.
Sorry, the arm tends to go up a little higher when I'm not using it.
Fair.
But yeah, I'm just working on a commission right now.
That's good.
Ooh.
Yep,
Nice.
same as our innkeeper. I'm drawing a vampire gunslinger.
Tommy, does he use silver bullets?
Technically no. The bullets in question are actually for my original story, and they're basically my take on magic missiles.
Interesting.
Yeah, basically they're spells that are condensed and locked into bullets.
Neat.
So for example, if someone wanted to shoot a fire spell, then they would just lock and load and then pew! Like incendiary bullets, but with magic.
Alright, let's see. Yes, I saw in the chat and I missed it. I seriously should tell that person one trip to the grocery store and random ideas you get later. You just get going to have to get it yourself. Honey,
Yeah,
you okay?
I just plugged out, and I'm a little stressed because I noticed the tire was like starting to flatten out intentionally this time because I've been actually letting it get flat, and it's finally gotten to the point where I can get away with using the repair kit that I got a few days ago.
Honey,
A little risky, don't you think?
Yeah, it's a bit worrisome.
Well, the repair kit has been put in place, and part of said repair kit also involves fully inflating the tire. So there is that. I'm sorry. My brain is kind of
hey,
cooked.
it's okay. But if you want to use the time to go find a mechanic or shop that actually helps with that tire, it's okay, you know?
Yeah. I think the repair kit is hopefully so that I can save money, so I don't have to go to that repair shop. Because odds are they're going to want me to replace the tire rather than trying to fix it themselves.
It is true.